the drive to be a trapper. They question my skill and my motive. They call me a Hollywood trapper. I give it my all to this game called trapping so that she can experience the challenge.
Well, it's getting late. Sun's going down, baby. Smell that? Just screams coon. The brush pile set came about.
We as trappers push ourselves to the limits.
This is my first Mississippi cat. I hate it. There's a gray fox down here. I caught this pretty little red right here. That is a monster. These are so big we got drag them like deer. Payton's second beaver. This is what you experience when you go on a trapper trip.
Brand new Duke trap.
Got the FB1. I see the tail. Beautiful. Randy has got a muddy mess happening. We got one. Right, exactly what I'm talking about. Right here in this dip. 1 second.
Robby give it a king. Poor man's done. He's letting me say that possible.
I got something up here. Aha! 175s are definitely doing their job.
Do you have what it takes to play the game?
Three.
Follow me on my journey. This is my story. This is my time. This is Trapping Time. Trapping Time is brought to you by Dakota Line Snares at DakotaLineSnares.com. Hilltop Outdoor Supply at HilltopOutdoorSupply.com. Duke Trap Company at DukeTraps.com. Southern Snares and Supply at SouthernSnares.com. Old South Lures at OldSouthLures.com. Webster's Predator Control at ShopWebster'sPredatorControl.com. F&T Trading Post at FNTPost.com. Big Game Gut Glove at BigGameGutGlove.com. Night Owl Lures at NightOwlLures.com. Wolf Creek Products at WolfCreekProducts.net. J3 Outdoors at J3O.com. American Coon Cap at AmericanCoonCap.com. SMOKEY'S Deer Lure at SMOKEY'sDeerLure.com. Funk Trap Tags at FunkTrapTags.com.
Hello folks and welcome to this week's show. This week we're trapping the American beaver and we're going to be doing it in my home state of Pennsylvania. You know, if I had to describe beaver trapping in a couple words, it would be hard work. You know, year in and year out we go chase them, but it is a lot of work. You know, everyone asks me, you know, Robby, how do you hold coyotes and how do you do this? Holding a coyote to me is so much simpler than holding a beaver. That is usually 30 to 40 pounds of raw power in the water that we've got to hold there long enough to drown. Whereas a coyote, we just got to keep him comfortable for a little while. You know, in my part of the state, we don't have a lot of beavers. This particular instance here where we're going to be trapping at, the Pennsylvania Game Commission actually called me to come on a nuisance complaint. We moved in, I could not believe how big this beaver dam is. It was a couple 100 yards wide, and by our beaver dam standards, that is huge. So we loaded up the truck, put the gear in, and we headed on out to see what we could do to help the Game Commission. When I came in here and set this the other day, everything was froze up except for right here below the bank. So we kind of concentrated everything as far as our leg holds go right here because we know it's going to get cold again, and we want to make sure that even if the ice is up, this running water, they're still going to be able to access these traps. Now down below the dam, I set a couple 330s. We're going to get our gut gloves on. We're going to walk down here and see what we have. Now, this setup here is very simple. We can see where these beavers were coming up on this bank right here. And there was a little shelf here. And we did a standard drowning set. Now I can see we've got one here. It don't look like a very big one, but we're in here to get rid of all of them. So whatever we get, it's not too bad of a beaver. The old Duke number 4 did its job. 18, 20 pounds maybe. Just a young one. You can find these 50-pound feed sacks. This is the way to go. Bring them in, fill yourself up with some rocks and stuff. You're not packing heavy stuff in, and when you're done trapping, you can just carry them right out. We're using our swivel as our drowning. Make sure you get it out deep. I like the number 4 because it's got a really high jaw. We can get a good leg catch on them. We don't have to worry about just catching by the toes. We're gonna put our set right back in the same exact spot. And that's pretty much the finished set. I'll get you in close here and I'll show you where we'll put our lure at, and we'll be ready on for the next one. We're gonna take our tree hugger. It don't take a whole lot. Stuff's pretty strong. Right there. When you're trapping beavers, you always want the beaver to come across the trap to get in the lure. Simple setup. All right, now this setup here, I tell you what, was probably what you consider a slam dunk by most purposes. We could see where the beavers were coming in and out, right here. We had a place we could have probably put a trap here, but I had this piece of tin here almost as a divider. So I have a set on the other side, and I just wanted to make sure that these two animals wouldn't get into each other if I doubled. And ended up I did. I caught a younger one over here, and I caught a monster. Look at that. That is a monster beaver. This is what we're after. We're in here to get all these beavers out. If we can get these adults out of here first, it usually makes it pretty easy when we get the rest of them out of here. But we're gonna remake this set. Good times. We're gonna put this trap in the same exact spot it was in. Make sure that it's bedded solid. You know, when I'm canine trapping, you guys always hear me talking about my cookie cutter and how to make that trap bed solid, because if you're gonna miss a coyote, that's probably why you're gonna miss him. Same with beavers. We're gonna take some Ontario from Night Owl. Now we know these beavers are coming up and over. We're gonna put it right here. We want this beaver to come up over on this side here, stop long enough to check it out, and get caught. You don't want to get your lure too high on the bank. Remember, when these beavers are swimming, their only nose is sticking out of the water about that much, if that. You want to be able to catch the odor coming across the water, get caught. Dead beaver. Even though this beaver dam was so big, I was still kind of limited where I could set at. We had a little bit of ice on the water, so the only place we could really set was where the water was open. Where that piece of tin was, it set it up perfect because I was able to put 2 sets in. When we come back, we're going to join up with Jason Webster. We're headed to Mississippi, and he's going to show us the advantages of using a crossover set in one of their dams on the F&T Set of the Week.
From the hills of West Virginia, Smokey's Deer Lures presents the first and only real pre-orbital gland lure in the world. Applying pre-orbital gland lure to a licking branch will allow you to take a complete inventory of the bucks at your favorite hunting spot. Get yours at SMOKEY'sDeerLure.com.
I've been a professional trapper for over 40 years, and in that time, I've skinned literally thousands of animals. I've learned that it doesn't matter how cool a knife looks on your hip. What really matters is sharpness and reliability. And that's why I created the Weeby Wicked Sharp line of replacement blade knives. These are knives that will quickly skin your critters without skinning your wallet. Visit WeebyKnives.com to get the new Monarch folding knife with 3 replacement blades for just $19.95. Weeby Knives, Wicked Sharp.
F&T Fur Harvesters Trading Post, Alpena, Michigan. We have all of the equipment that you need for trapping, hunting with hounds, predator calling, and fur handling supplies. We also carry a great selection of tanned fur and fur-related products. Whether you've been trapping for a lifetime or just want to get started in the field, we have everything you need to get you pointed in the right direction. Call us today and we'll send you our full-color catalog where you can get equipped for your next trip on the line. F&T Fur Harvesters Trading Post, everything you need.
All right, what we have here is a beaver dam, and we set this up as a crossover set. You can see right in the middle where the beavers and the otters and everything's traveling over, and what we did is we set a 330 at the top of it and another one at the bottom of it. Any of your beavers or otters that are traveling this back and forth, they're going to use that crossover. And the biggest reason we set 2 up, our primary target's otter here, but there's so many beaver in here, we basically back everything up, so if we do catch a beaver, we still have a second set working for when the otter come through. Now it looks like a pretty good beaver. We'll go out here and pull it out of here, take a better look at it, and get the set reconstructed here. Yep, another nice Mississippi beaver. Landowner will be happy because in this deer park that they've got here, the hunting grounds, They've been causing a lot of problems, a lot of flooding out their roads and access roads to get back in and some of their food plots. Looks like he's been quite the scrapper, kind of scarred up and chewed up there. Alright, we just got the beaver out of the 330 here on this crossover set. What we're going to do is we're going to put that set back, and you can kind of tell where everything's been going down through here. They've got it washed out, kind of a wall or a low spot in the dam they've got here. The beaver's got a lot of stuff kind of kicked around, so we're just going to move some of this out to open it up just a little bit. We're going to take our 330 on our H stand, just sink it right in the middle of that crossover. Make sure you take your safeties off. You want to T-bar it down or wire it off, so if something gets caught and he gets kicking around a little bit, you don't have to go downstream and try to dig him out of that deeper water. We're just going to kind of brush it in just a little bit, kind of break up the square outline and kind of guide him a little bit to when they line up to come down through here, they're going to see that opening, they're going to shoot for that, the bigger opening, path of least resistance to get through there. Now one thing, when you're brushing these 330s in, or any trap like this, you don't want to use green live limbs or anything like that because it's a food source for the beaver. You don't want just plain old dead sticks that you're going to find through here, something that he's not going to pay that much attention to. Just use a few of these just to kind of break up the square outline and camouflage it some. And that's a finished remake on our crossover set. We're going to clean some of the sticks out of the lower one that got knocked down there. And then check this tomorrow and hopefully we have another beaver or lucky enough to get another otter out of here.
Welcome back. Hey Jason, that was an awesome tip. I was actually fortunate enough to be with Jason on that trip, and he was catching a beaver in that crossover set every day. I keep teasing him and say, you know what, if you still had traps there, you'd probably still be catching beavers there. Now we're going to leave Mississippi and we're going to head back to my home state. We're back on the same pond where the Game Commission has us trapping, and we're going to try out some 330s and see how they handle up against the leg holds. Go.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Hilltop Outdoor Supply. Go check them out at hilltopoutdoorsupply.com.
Before you make your next trapping supply purchase, be sure to check out trappingtimetv.com. We have an extensive line of products and we're adding new products all the time. If you've seen it on the show, we have it. Don't forget to check out the Trapping Time line of baits and lures. You will definitely want to try out our #1 selling Back 40 Predator bait. We also are the home of the Trapping Time Trap Bed Cookie Cutter. Make trappingtimetv.com your last stop.
The Big Game Gut Glove is revolutionizing the way big game hunters and trappers are successful in the field. The 26-inch version fits over your elbows and protects you and your expensive hunting clothing from blood or cold water. They're made to fit your hands from extra small to extra large.
What I like about them, I can feel with them.
Existing products on the market don't give you the feel or protection you need. Wet or dry, the special non-slip grip bonds tightly to whatever you're handling. The Big Game Gut Gloves are reusable so you save money and promote going green.
Welcome back. Now this channel here is what they consider a slam dunk. We were using a 330 in here and it was just wide enough that 10 by 10 square fit down in there perfectly. We took a short stabilizer, we stuck it down in there, and I threw a log across here just to kind of force them come down in, but this was the result. A really nice Pennsylvania beaver. That old 330 smacked him down, and that's all she wrote. We're gonna get this set remade in here, and I'll get this beaver out of here, and maybe we'll get us another one. Now I pulled my stabilizer, my short stabilizer up here, and it's right here. This water's shallow enough I can even say that. Put it backward in the same place that it was. Now, let's get this bad boy reset. A lot of times I'll spread my triggers. On this one here, I didn't really feel it was needed. I had a feeling they were going to come shooting down through here like they did and not have any issues. Now we've got our stabilizer on there like so. Remember the old drowning log set where you had to wire it off to the top? We don't have to do that with these. We're just going to take it and push it down in the mud. Make sure you take your safeties off. Nothing worse than having an awesome beaver set and forgot to take the safeties off. So get your trap in that channel, push it down in. We're below the water level. This is a perfect setup because we're only about 10 inches, 10-inch channel. Now what I did, I took this stick and laid across there only to give a little bit of a diversion, so when he's coming down through, it makes him want to dive and get underneath of it. And it worked out perfect. I got another 330 down there because what's going to happen is if they end up starting to avoid this, they'll move around, we'll catch him on the other side. This is your slam dunk of all slam dunk sets when it comes to beaver trapping. You find this set, you're going to be into some fur. Perfect spot to put a 330 in. And I found a couple places. Now the first one I put in right here. Now, I took a beaver out of here the other day, but I ended up putting another one down here because here's what ends up happening. When these beavers start seeing these 330s plugged up, they start to get a little trap shy. There was really no way. Here in Pennsylvania, we're only allowed to use 2 330s at any given time, and that's doesn't matter where you're trapping. That's in the state. Two out. That's it. So I put the one back in because it did connect yesterday. But here's what happened. I can see right here. This beaver's come around here and went underneath this log. I had a feeling they were going to do that. So what I did to combat that problem, I came down the creek about 15 yards. And as you can see, I've got one with the trap plugged up right here. Now this opening here wasn't as perfect as the last one was. So I had to do a little bit of construction to get this beaver in here. And it's a decent sized beaver. Nothing, about like the one I caught earlier, maybe 20 pounds. But we kind of fenced him in. I threw some wood over here because I was afraid they may come up out of the water. I want to try to keep these beavers in the water as long as I can, because if they're in the water, there's a good chance I can catch them. So I laid this log across here because my opening's bigger than that 10 by 10 channel that I had over there. So I ended up, I used my stabilizer. These short ones are really nice in this water like that. You can push it down in, tighten everything up. Once I had my trap set, that's when I came back in and started putting these twigs in here. What's going to happen? These beavers, they're going to swim down through here. When they get here, there's all these obstructions. But wait a minute, there's a 10 by 10 opening. They're just going to shoot through it, shoot on down the creek. We've got a 330 Duke sitting there waiting. Working them over. That's the 5th one we've taken out of this little pond here. There might be a couple more in here, but we're definitely gonna make some happy landowners.
I love those little sets like that. When you can get those little feeder streams like that and then they neck down just big enough for a 330, it just screams beaver all day. Slam dunk. Stick around. When we come back, we're gonna head to a different portion of water, and I've got my favorite trapper with me, Payton, and we're taking her first beaver trapping trip.
Closed captioning for Trapping Time is brought to you by Duke Traps, America's best trap value.
Trapping products by J3 Outdoors, the most versatile and efficient trapping devices on the market.
For some of us, trapping season never ends. It's in our blood and defines the very person we are. Let Southern Snares and Supply be part of your trapping world. Be sure to try out our best-selling capital punishment predator bait and our new Pure Gator Oil.
F&T Fur Harvesters Trading Post, Alpena, Michigan. We have all of the equipment that you need for trapping, hunting with hounds, predator calling, and fur handling supplies. We also carry a great selection of tanned fur and fur-related products. Whether you've been trapping for a lifetime or just want to get started in the field, we have everything you need to get you pointed in the right direction. Call us today and we'll send you our full color catalog where you can get equipped for your next trip on the line. F&T Fur Harvesters Trading Post, everything you need.
Well, I have Miss Payton on the creek with me today. What do you think, Payton? You just couldn't get out in the deep enough water. We'll chalk this one up to operator error. We dispatched him, got him up on the bank, which was pretty cool because you've never seen one alive before, have you? No. Pretty neat. So it was just your standard setup. We're using 10 foot of 3/32 extension cable, using a Duke number 4, and we're using a swivel as a drowner lock. We're using a rebar T-bar stake, which makes it real nice, especially in this mud. You want to throw it? See if you can pick it up. Pick. Yeah. Think it's heavy enough? Alright. Let's see if we can give us a toss. You want your cable to be as tight as it possibly can. That way, that swivel will slide a little bit better. You want to make sure that trap's solid. This is our caster mount. This was our iron tooth. So if you look at it, our trap's actually over here. So when he comes up, whether we catch him by the front or the back foot, we're still going to be offset to one side or the other, and we'll get a better catch that way. Well, Payton, I know we have a few more traps to check up through here, so maybe we'll get lucky and we'll catch us another one. But if we keep catching all these beavers, you're going to have to help me carry some out.
Okay.
Okay? You want to carry that one out? Alright. Think you can set the next one on your own? No. I didn't take it. That'll all come one time. Alright, let's we'll get this beaver up out of here and we'll go check and see if we caught any more on the creek. Let's go. And it looks like we've got something in there. The water's kind of clear. Pull up. Hopefully we got us a beaver. Oh yeah, real nice one. We got a good front paw catch. This colony is kind of new, so a lot of the beavers you're going to catch are going to be in that 30 to 40 pound range, which this one here is probably going to flirt with 30 pounds, maybe a little less. Now, what I like to do is I'm going to check everything. We're going to make sure everything's good to go. Everything look good, Pete? Cable look fine? Okay, if this doesn't work on the next time, it's your fault. You got this one or you got me to get it? Huh? You got this one or you want me to get it?
I want to try it.
You going to try it? This ought to be interesting. Get here to the edge. Give it a toss. You think that's going to work? Here, let's see if Daddy can throw it a little bit better. I've been working out a little bit. Maybe I can get it up there a little bit. Ready? I like to roll my pans pretty level. That level enough? This shelf here was really nice. I brought mud. Once I dug it down, what's nice about them number 4s, because they're center swiveled in the bottom, you can push that right down in the mud. It'll help stabilize that trap. We like to turkey hunt this side of the hill. Get this beaver dam out here so we can cross the creek. Because turkey hunting's what? It's the best, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, it looks like we got beavers to carry out and little kids. All right. Payton's second beaver. Good times. All right, dude, let's go. This one's yours. You better two-hand that one.
Oh, it feels so gross. Are you sure it's not alive?
It's not alive. Folks, as far as beaver trapping scenarios go, that was about as standard as you can get. You know, it was your typical using a number 4, drowning rig, cable slide, the whole 9 yards. But one thing I will remember about that day, you know, I've caught a lot of beavers, but that was the first 2 that Payton had ever been with me and then we caught. You know, that's the kind of special moments that you can make out on the trap line. You know, she's been fortunate enough to grow up around the TV industry. You know, ever since she was a baby, I've been on national TV, you know, with the deer and turkey stuff and now trapping time. So she's kind of familiar with the camera. The only thing that worries me is she keeps talking about that she's not getting enough camera time That's kind of got me thinking that she wants my job. Be sure to join us next week. We're going to be trapping foxes in Ohio and West Virginia and Pennsylvania. Until next time, like we always say, we're keeping the tradition alive here at Trapping Time.
Go check them out at hilltopoutdoorsupply.com.
Do it again.
I was close.
Nope. Do it again.
What?
Hilltop Outdoor Supply.
Oh.
Go check them out. Go. Folks, be sure to follow our Trapping Time Facebook page and check out our website, trappingtimetv.com, for all your Trapping Time apparel and trapping supplies.